Hi, my name is Aaron, and this is my show, Reeducation, and today I'm going to talk again about the mass line. I know, shocking, right? I'm like a broken record on this whole thing. So, the mass line, as I've said before, is basically a ground campaign that is used to motivate people towards a political goal, or towards an action that will spark political change. It is not the revolution itself, as I've said before. It is the means to achieve the revolution. Now, this can be used in all manner of ways. It can be used on a small scale, and it can also be used on a large scale. On a small scale, you can use this to enact immediate change in your local vicinity. And I would tell you that that is probably the most important, if not the first place that you should always start. In your local community, you actually have the ability to make a difference. Your vote actually does matter because the percentage-wise, right, you are one person versus whatever it is, the 1,000 people or more that are inside of your community. Your vote is actually 1 in 1,000 instead of 1 in several million. It actually does make a difference. And the people that are politically motivated in your local community are few and far between. Very few regular people get involved in local politics. They just don't have the time, they just don't have the motivation, and they don't have any of the thought behind it to make them want to even bother with it. But when you have politically savvy people like ourselves, economically savvy people who understand what the problems are with the system, you can actually go and enact change in your communities directly. You can do those things. You can make that change yourself in your community on a small scale. And it involves getting together with local people, talking to your family, talking to your friends, talking to your coworkers, talking to your neighbors, talking to Joe Blow six-pack on the street, anybody who's willing to listen. Go into a diner and talk to the waitress. Who gives a shit who it is? If they have a problem and you think that you might have a solution for it, try to give it to them. Try to spark some change. Try to get enough people motivated behind a single idea that they'll actually want to do something. Say, like in my community, you have a problem with rural internet. You don't have any way to get rural internet. Well, that's a major problem because that's a major barrier from you being able to gain more solidarity with like-minded people. Where I am, I have to pay $300 a month to get internet. I mean, it's great internet, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to have to pay $300. If everybody that was in my community got together and said, hey, we want to go in on a local internet system, then we could do that, and we could set up the infrastructure, and we could have that internet here. But we'd have to do it in a way that was motivating to the rest of the community, that got the people involved to get them to get the internet here. Again, a mass line strategy can be used to do this. You just go around and you talk to people door to door, asking them what their problems are. Hey, are you paying too much for your internet? Hey, is it a really big pain in the ass for you to watch movies? Whatever it is, you talk to them about it and you get them to enact change. That's on a small scale. But the small scale helps too because that inevitably allows you to gain that solidarity with a larger group of people. Having your communications severed is a very important issue. Another issue could be homosexual rights or rights for people in the LGBT community. Again, if you have a ground campaign, you can see social change happen faster. And what are you doing when you're allowing those people to have more rights and abilities? You're gaining solidarity. You're gaining allies with people who would inevitably end up allying with liberals because that's who they would have as their allies if we weren't there. If you're there and you're giving them a socialist solution, right, to this problem, then they're going to ally with you. They're going to be on your side, right? They're going to think that your ideas are better. And that's where you want to be. These are small things, right? But they're all a little portion of the whole puzzle. They're all a part that should be played. If you have all of these small things happening all at once, it's like infecting the system with a million viruses all at the same time. It's going to bubble up, it's going to fester, it's going to explode, and at the end of it all, we have already formed, because we did the groundwork, a socialist structure for it to fall into. We don't have to inevitably make the system crumble and blow it up and make it just get destroyed. It's doing that by itself. We don't have to do it. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to pull a trigger. We don't have to point a single gun. The entire system is literally falling apart in front of your face. Every person that you talk to is angry about it, and they just don't have the words to explain why. You don't have to make them socialists. You just have to make them like socialist ideas, which isn't hard, because the majority of people like socialist ideas. I know that, again, I live in a conservative neighborhood. I talk to the people in this neighborhood all the time about socialist solutions to their problems, and they always love them. I just don't call it socialism. This works on the large scale, yes, but on the small scale is where it makes the most immediate impact, and that is where it has to be tried and tested and done first. That's where it makes the most difference. At least that's the way I look at it. My name is Aaron. Thanks for watching.